Hello, 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 beautiful people. It's Dion on a Monday in the midday. I know you guys are not used to that, but I'm living outside of my comfort zone. And I am here to celebrate some people in my life. Hello, 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 Santana, Jenny, Tracy, I see you. Come on in, guys. This is the first of many for the month of March, celebrating Women's History Month. If you are on my web app, you know that I launched the month of March where I am. There are free stretch classes on there, and there are a list of events. So if you guys are not tapped in, make sure you do that. It is wellbeing.passion.io, and you'll see all the stuff. Hello, hello, hello. Today, I'm having someone very special on, someone that is near and dear to my heart and is helping me grow spiritually and mentally and just relationally. Let me see. I'm going to bring her on and then I'm going to do my intro there. So let me just bring her on. I'm not stretching today. I will be stretching on Wednesday. Um, Hello.
Hey, hey, Dion.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. I told you I would take my time with you today. How are you doing, everyone? This is Lydia Mitchell, my sister. She is my sister. We met in the Girl Hold My Hand community, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself first. But I'm gonna let her tell you a little bit about herself. But what I want to do is I want her to tell you how, kind of why the community that we met in first, and then a little bit about her. Then we're going to dig in. We're going to talk about a lot of things today. And I have a few things I want on my list that I want to talk about, but the way she and I work, because we have this kind of energy where we are friends outside of Instagram, outside of our Girl Hold My Hand community, we tend to have a rapport. So you look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. I
I
saw
wait.
you.
Your face. Okay, guys, I'm gonna tell you right now. Lydia has lost a significant amount of weight in her face because when you lose weight, that's where you get snatched first. She's been doing PRX with me, so shout out to IMPRX who's getting us all snatchity snatched. Um, and so, Lydia, without further ado, tell the people who you are, and then tell them a little bit about Girl Hold My Hand, and then we'll jump into our conversation. So,
Okay, so for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Lydia Mitchell, originally from Chicago, Illinois. I live in Alabama right now. Um, Dion and I actually met in Girl Hold My Hand. And our group is a meditation and coaching community where we meditate and Dion has been so instrumental in the community. She has literally opened me up to a different way of stretching, which has really helped me in my PRX workouts and any other workout that I've ever done. I've noticed my squats getting better and everything,
deep.
but it's the consistency for me. And so I started my health and wellness journey actually during the pandemic when everybody was bored in the house bored. I did the opposite. And so I started my health and wellness journey. Right now, I am down 95 pounds. Last month,
Congratulations. No, wait, you can't just be like, oh, I just lost 95 pounds and then roll on to the next thing, girl. Just hold, wait. Let's go back there for a second. Tell the people why you chose, as you were going through this process, and even before, why you chose to just, because like you said, a lot of people kind of, yeah, let's give her some claps for that. 95 pounds is a lot.
thank you.
Tell the people what made you say, you know what, that's it, I'm done. I need a change.
Well, I had two motivations. One of which, my dad, my bonus dad had lymphoma, and we were looking for some natural ways to heal him. And this was in 2018, and we kept looking. I heard about the different things, natural things out there. Even like my sister was like, let's just give him some weed, right? So
look up the joint.
Yeah. So within that time as well, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So within that time frame, my mom was going through chemo and no radiation, just chemo and procedures and stuff like that. And so that was kind of the aha for me, because I was like, you know what, Lydia, the things that you're experiencing, and my parents did the best that they could with what they had, the resources that they had, and the best that they could do. But I said, you know, Lydia, do you want your son to be in this position and feel the way that you feel? And so that was like the biggest aha for me. After I lost my bonus dad in 2018, and I went with the same journey with my mom, helping her to fight breast cancer. And literally, I want to say maybe like a year and a half later is when I started my journey with Total Life Changes. And I was April of this year will be 3 years. And when I found the product, when I found the products, I was just like, you know what?
I'm on my 3-year anniversary with PRX too. So we didn't do the same thing with the same people at the same time, but look how the universe brought us together. So happy anniversary. Mine's going to be at the end of March and into April as well. So congratulations on that. And my condolences. I know that you did lose your mom. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that in a little bit. So keep going. Tell me this story. So you're on your 3-year anniversary. You started.
Yes. So literally during the pandemic, with going through what I went through with my mom, I was looking for a way for me to lose weight. I had been going to weight loss clinics. You guys know the weight loss clinics that you go when you kind of get the quick fixes, the vitamin B, B12 shots, the lipo injections. I was on Ozempic, Adipex. None of it made me feel good, and it didn't really want me to stay consistent. I was telling a girl the other day that I was walking with, I said, you know, the real eye-opener for me was, you know, when I decided to actually go and just place the order and start, you know, my health and wellness journey, was there was a lady sitting next to me in the waiting room. We waiting to see the doctor, and she had been on Adipex listen, y'all, as nothing against it, but I will tell you, the way that she was acting, her posture, her behavior, the way she was just kind of like, it kind of looked like an addiction to me. And I said, this is not what I want. This is not what I want. I don't do drugs. I've never done drugs, you know, not to my own horn. I just saw people in my family and how they had addictions to alcohol and drugs and different things. And I was like, that can't be me. I can't. And so that was like, I was like, I gotta try something different. So I tried the products.
Wait, I want to roll back for 1 second. So when you go to weight loss clinic, because this is something that's outside of anything that I've ever talked about, and there are going to be people on here, but like, wait a second, why didn't she have that conversation? I want it to be a transparent conversation, so the people who are deciding on what options to do know why you chose to go a more natural route with walking and exercise and nutritional supplements. How were you feeling when you were taking, you know, so was it injections, or explain that to me, because I don't know how that works.
Oh, I took it all. I would get a lipo injection every week.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes you can get them twice a week. I was getting lipo injections every week. I got a prescription for Adipex, which is a controlled substance, but it's supposed to suppress your appetite. I also was prescribed Ozempic, which is literally for, hey Jay, it was literally for diabetics, in which I have no medical condition, so I had no business taking that. And then you also had an option, like you pay, you play, right? You pay, you play. So you get what you pay for. And what I didn't like,
and that's the way to keep you tapped into doing that part, because what they don't communicate is the physical activity helps you to build a sort of resilience and a sort of mental strength and tenacity that doesn't, but it's to keep you kind of locked in to that process. I'm sorry, Lydia. You can
I
cry
just
here. This is a safe space, girl. Let it out.
I
Let
just
it all
started
out.
thinking about that. I
Yeah.
really started thinking about that because it was a point in my life that I was just so desperate to lose weight. And I was just like, man, like, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And it was a struggle. And, with that too, with me, going back and forth, I was going back and forth with my mom every 2 weeks to Atlanta for her to get chemo, and procedures. And it just did not feel good. It didn't feel right because I was
Yeah.
like, you know, how are you deliberately putting yourself through this pain? And you're watching your mom, you're watching your mother-in-law, because I didn't put my mother-in-law into it, but she, had congestive heart failure and so many other ailments. And I'm like, Lydia, you're purposely taking these things and you don't have any of these ailments just so that you can lose weight. You don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
Like there's something, there's got to be something else out
Wait.
there.
Hold a second. Let's have a conversation about the work.
Yeah.
She does, Jay. She does look incredible. So everyone that's just joining, I just want to let you know this is my friend, my sister from another mister. I met her in the Girl Hold My Hand community. We're talking about her journey. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but right now we're talking about weight loss and what she did at the beginning of her journey, where she was doing, and we're not saying anyone that chooses to go that route, that is their route. We're talking about what happens when you actually do the physical process, when you put in the work. Tell us about the mindset shift that happened when you started to doing the physical work. So back in April of 2020, you decided to get on Total Life Changes, which we're both part of. We're both of this community, this health and wellness community, where we can, one, buy products, supplements, stuff for energy, stuff to keep us, going, weight, a few products that aid in the weight loss process, but you still have to put in the work. So tell me when that shift happened, like, tell us about that process.
Oh, the first week that I took the products, I had told people that I was going to do it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to change my eating habits. I'm just going to see. In this 1 week, I didn't exercise at all. In 1 week, I lost 5 pounds.
Oh,
That
wow.
first week, 5 pounds. And I was stoked because going to that health and wellness clinic, like, I don't know, it took me like 2.5 weeks to lose that 5 pounds. I was
Yeah.
getting very discouraged,
Yeah.
very discouraged.
Yeah.
So when I switched over and I made the transition to Total Life Changes, I was like, oh, this is the lipo injections
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is
Oh,
the
what
real
products
beat.
were you taking at that time? So that the people
I was taking
know. Yeah.
Yeah, I was taking the liquid multivitamin
Okay.
NutriBurst, the ISOT, the original ISOT instant tea, and the natural energy pill NRG. Those
Okay.
are the
All
three
right.
products that I was taking.
That's my superpower right there. Those three. All right. So you're doing that. Now you weren't exercising at all. So you just saw this physical drop in 1 week, and then when after soon was it soon after that that you decided to start moving your body, or like how did the process go?
Yes, because in my mind I'm a rebel, and they was telling us that they were telling us that we couldn't go outside. We couldn't even go out to the park. We couldn't take the kids. They had the
Oh yeah,
caution
it's
tapes around there.
2020. I
Yes,
forgot. This is 2020.
yes.
Ooh.
So everybody was supposed to be in the house, and I started this trend. It was me and two of my friends. I was like, listen, I'm about to go walk. And I
Yeah.
just started walking. That was like the first thing that I did. And from then on, it just multiplied. And then I found out about trap cardio, and then
Yeah.
I walked some more,
Yeah.
and then I got introduced to PRX, and then I was just like, yes, let's go.
Wait,
Let's
so
go.
so you got introduced to PRX last year, but let's tell them about what happened to, and we're gonna roll back to, because I want to talk about a little bit of your experiences, because I don't want to just rush over that. Let's do this. Let's talk about PRX, and we're gonna go back to, kind of like what happened, last year and the year before, kind of like what helped you change your mindset. So you joined PRX in January of this, really join in January of this year. Now, I'm going to add, Lydia, again, because you just said something that made me realize that you didn't change your diet when you did PRX this time. You said you ate. What were you eating this time?
This time, well, for this past challenge, this past month, I was doing fish and shrimp because I don't eat red meat or chicken anymore. A lot more vegetables, a lot of salads. And then, of course, I was taking those three products that I said, the ISO-T, the NRG, and the NutriBurst, but I also took resolution drops.
Oh, because wait, so tell us what the resolution drops and why you chose to add that to your regimen overall and right now during this challenge.
Yeah. Well, resolution drops help you to lose weight fast, and I mean fast. You must consume at least 1,200 calories while taking them. You take them 3 times a day. But it gives you, it does curb your appetite, so you have to make sure that you're aware that you hit those 1,200 calories, or they're not going to work. There's no point of you even taking them. And so it does help
enough, and you got to take it consistently. And I'm sure you have to make sure that your water intake is, up to par. So how much water do you drink a day?
I try to drink at least 8 bottles of 16-ounce
which is a gallon,
bottles of water. So like a gallon. I've now listen, I have hit it maybe 3 times during that challenge, but I at least consume 5. I at least consume 5. So
wow. For 2 years, the products do work. I lost 83 pounds in a year. Hello. Well, Petway, why are you not, girl? Why are you not tapping in back with me, girl? Come back home.
Right.
Come home.
Yeah.
No, Petway does PRX. She's been doing it from the beginning with me for 3 years. She had a baby. She's back now. She does the beginners intermediate program, which people are like, well, it's an easy program. I'm like, no, honey, it ain't easy when you're training at your level. So this morning I'm squatting 45-pound dumbbells. I'm not, I'm training at my level. So I digress. All right. So let's go back to, I just saw her message. Like, let me give her a shout out. So let's go back to, so you're eating well, you're drinking a good amount of water. You added the resolution drops to these 3 products. Tell everyone how much, but you know what? I wish we had a picture to show them. Because
you need a before picture,
body before and after of how your body changed from, because we did this challenge January 1st, 2nd to February 2nd. I'm gonna post when we get off. Send me a picture so I can make it the cover of this, because I want to show the people like how you transform your body. And so Lydia sent me a picture of herself, and I was like, where? And she's like, she wasn't really enthusiastic. And I said, Lydia, did you do the face check? She said, what's the face check? And I said, did you compare your face in January to your face in February? Like that, guys, is always, you always have to do the face check. Is. That's what she was just saying, Petways, that it's good for curbing your appetites. And craves just, I need that because I do get the sweet cravings. All right, so tell the people how much weight you lost.
Last month for the challenge, I lost 10 pounds. Exactly. 10 pounds exactly.
And that's a lot.
It is.
That's a lot. But you lost 10 pounds and you got stronger. So the 10, like, I don't like using the number because what happens is there's a huge significance in the way her body looks. Like when you see her picture side to side, there's a huge change that happened. Sweets are my weakness too, Santana. Girl, you don't even know. And then once a month, I'm like ripping through my niece and nephew's candy. I'm like, what you guys got in here? And when I don't find what I want, I feel like, okay, this is a message from the universe. I'm not supposed to eat it because I'm looking for one specific thing. But yeah, so you lost this weight, and so are you done with? Are you like, okay, I lost this weight, I'm done? What, like how are you? What's your mindset around the process now?
No, I'm not done. I'm not done at all. I have some more sculpting to do of my body, and I see myself losing about 15 more pounds. I do see myself losing about 15 more pounds. I used to was like, well, I'm not going to put a number on it, but yeah, I want to lose another 15 pounds, and I want to sculpt my body. So I want to sculpt my abs. I want to sculpt my legs and my arms.
Okay. All right. So you know how this works, and I don't know, like this is one of the things I'm going to be the person that's going to be a lot more transparent than the average person. Yes, sculpting, I'm going to lose 15 and I want to sculpt at the same time. The way this works is you lose because you can't sculpt if you still have fat on your body. Your body's going to try to lose that process, so you might have to lose a little bit more. And that's why I tell people to use pictures, because what happens is when you stick to this weight, when you stick to a weight, and keep the weight in mind, yes, because it's your process, but when you stick to a weight and you realize, okay, get to this weight, but my body doesn't look the way I want it to, you're setting yourself up for that kind of like disappointment that you could easily either resolve or eliminate by just saying, I have a goal of where I want to be, how I want to feel, what I want to do, and go from there. And the great thing about that is that it allows you room to kind of evolve. I never thought that my body would look the way it does. I never imagined that I'd be able to do some of the things that I do. The reason I have been successful in my journey, I think, is because from day one, when Roz told me to throw the scale away, I haven't seen it. I threw away my brother's scale and he kept asking me for it. And I'm like, I don't know where it went. I threw mine away and his away. I'm like, these have to go, because if it's here, they were gone out the window. So I have a weight, in the 3 years, I've probably weighed myself 3 times, like when I first started. And then that first year, I was, kind of obsessed with a goal weight. I wanted to be, once I kind of like throw away the scale, I got rid of it. Now, when I went back into, when I started using MyZone, which is a tracker to track your effort, my nutritionist, who is Roz, who works with PRX, she's like, okay, get on the scale. I'm like, but I don't want to know how much I weigh. She's like, get on the scale. And so I know, I have an idea of how much I weigh, but I like looking at my legs, the pictures, to really see. Yeah, Jay said she doesn't have a scale either. Yeah, I just feel like how do I feel? How do I fit in my clothes? How does my body feel? Like, like kind of like that. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's good. Everyone's process is different, and that's why we're human beings and we're navigating this world as, our individual selves. But I see a tremendous change in you, and I love this. I love that we're on this journey together. And so I only mentioned that because I wanted to encourage you to just take more pictures, because you saw how you felt, but looking at the pictures. Yeah. And then we can talk. There's things that I use during my process, like, creams that help me burn fat in specific areas. So I was putting these, and do you use the what you call it from TLC?
Alleviate? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So how does that work on your legs?
I've never put it on my legs because my skin is super sensitive. Sometimes in the summertime, even I'll have to put some sunscreen on because my skin is very sensitive. So I've never tried it on my legs, but I do know that Coach Stormy, she would do it on her arms, on her legs, and everything. So I mean, I say have at it, but I just put it on. I put it on my stomach.
Yeah. So I used to use a cream called Amylene, where I put that thing everywhere. Except one time I got it on one place that I won't mention, and you're not supposed to get it on. And I was like, it just had me hot. It had me hot. But I put it on my arms, on the little chichos back here, my stomach, my legs, inner thighs, and it toned my body up really well. It was something that, again, my nutritionist, who is part of PRX, Roz, she, I'm like, okay, what am I using? I'm one of those people, if you give me a program, I stick to it. But all right, so you and I are going to keep working on your fitness goals, and keep working on your I like to call it more wellness, because now we're doing this for a lifestyle. We're not doing it just to, like, we don't have an event coming up. We have a goal of how we want to look and how we want our lifestyle. But long term, we want to be able to maintain this. And that's what I encourage people to do, is once you do that, if you take a day off, you don't feel discouraged. You don't beat up on yourself. You're like, okay, my body needs rest. I take the ease. So let's roll back. So you've lost this weight, but let's roll back to, because I want to to talk a little bit about your experiences and what are some of the things. I know you said you watched your mom and your and your second dad and your stepmom. You had a lot of tragedy that happened in your life that kind of like helped to motivate you, which is not the way you want this to work. Like you went through a lot of things in the 3 years, during the pandemic. So tell the people a little bit about that and how that shifted your mindset, how that shifted your goals, and kind of like how you saw yourself in your future.
Oh, well, it kind of sort of just fell in my lap because, I just never knew. I was kind of blindsided by with my dad. It was okay. We kind of knew that he had 6 months to live, but they sent him on hospice in March, like around March, but he didn't actually pass away until May, right? So they even kicked him out of the hospice place because
Yeah.
we're in there having fun, playing cards and stuff like that.
They're
And they're
like,
like,
"You're not dying.
right,
Get out of here."
so he went back home, and then unfortunately, the next time he went, he didn't come back out. But
Oh,
it was just it was that
condolences.
for me. So it was kind of like I kind of had came to terms with that. My mom's diagnosis was totally a blind side because she went from being a caregiver to him, to my dad, and then being the patient and the caregiver because she was doing it all. My family lives in Chicago still, and I here in Alabama. So my mom, thank God, worked from home, so she was able to take care of him while she was still going to
Wow.
her appointments and stuff like that. And, I didn't see my mom very often throughout the year. Of course, we talked every day and we, FaceTime just like we're talking. But um, I got to see more of her. And I told her, I said, well, Mom, I know this is kind of a messed up thing and a messed up way. I said, but we get to spend more time
Time
together,
together,
you
yeah.
know, with this. And I didn't think that it was going to turn for the worst.
Yeah,
It went
yeah.
in remission in February of 2020, and it came back more aggressive in October of 2020. And
Okay.
so,
But for that for that time, a little under a year, you really got to enjoy her.
oh, absolutely. We
Yeah,
had we
yeah.
had people who thought that we were out there living our best life, because we would be out there shopping and going to the movies and doing karaoke and going out to eat and going to the Mexican restaurant and having our margaritas and stuff like that. But
Love
little did
it.
they know, like
Yeah.
we only had those 2 or 3 days to connect and me be there for her. And I got to. A lot of people are like, well, I had to. No, I got to because some people never got a chance to
To
do
do
that, to
that.
be there. And I was so thankful. And, my mom would always say, thank you. And I said, Mom, I'm honored. I'm completely honored to be able to be here for you.
Yeah.
And my mindset shifted because I had to physically have some strength um, to be there for my mom.
Yeah.
I had to physically sometimes help her into the bed and
Yeah.
physically pick up her legs because they had swollen like 2 and 3 times the
Wow.
size of her
Wow.
calves after chemo. Yeah, I had to sometimes help her in and out of the shower and push her in a wheelchair. That's not easy.
Easy. No, it's
It's
not. And
it's
and
not.
that's the thing, like it's one thing for me where I was huffing, like I worked in hospitality where I had to carry, a sink that was 30, 40 pounds. And, when you're 40, 50 pounds overweight and climbing stairs and even walking down the New York City blocks, it's a lot. But this is a different thing. You're carrying someone's body weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was kind of like, you're like, girl, you got to get it together.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So that was another push because I was like, Lydia, you can't be a caregiver to anybody.
Yeah.
Because even when I would come back home, I sometimes would have to aid my mother-in-law. So you can't caregive for anybody if you're not
You're
taking
taking
care of
care of
yourself. If you're,
yourself.
yeah, you're out of breath, going up 2 flights of stairs, which is like 4 stairs, so 8 steps, you know,
Yeah.
you
I
gotta
think
take your
people
health
this
seriously.
and this is what I love about Yusuf too, is that he talks about cardiovascular health so much and the importance of that. He's like, and he always, he makes it's a little bit more comedic for him when he talks about if someone's running after you, they're not stopping for you to catch your breath, or if you're in a fight, they're not stopping for you to catch your breath. But in these real life situations, we don't really think about that.
Mhm.
Your heart is really what determines whether or not you're going to be able to do the things. Because if you're out of breath, you can't, even running after your kids. So
Yes.
that's an unfortunate, like I'm sad that you had to experience that, all those things. I lost my dad years and years ago, and I tell people, it doesn't matter how long the loss has been, you still feel it like it was
Yes.
yesterday. You
Yesterday.
still feel it like some days I wake up and I'm fine, and some days I wake up, I feel like, oh, let me call my dad. I'm like, wait, and he's been gone since 2007.
Wow.
2007. So yeah.
Wow.
So you wanting to be able to be there for your family. So after you lost your mom, tell us a little bit about that, and what gave you your fight, or
Oh,
what made you keep your fight?
um, because I knew that my mom was okay. Because I knew that my mom did not suffer and she was not suffering anymore. And my fight came from looking at everybody else that was left, like my sisters, my
Yeah.
son. My son, lost my mother-in-law and my mom. They passed within a month of each other, so he lost two grandmothers back to
Oh,
back. And so
wow.
I was like, I had to exemplify that strength. Not only that, so for my son, for my husband, for my sisters and my grandmother, who took it very hard, I had to keep that fight going. And also, I knew that I had a legacy that I had to keep going too, because
Let's
there were
talk
some
about
things.
that.
It was some things that I had promised my mom before she the cancer came back into remission. When I started the business, there were some things that I told her that I was going to do.
Yeah.
And I said, you can't stop now. Now that
Yeah.
she's gone, now you
Yeah.
think that, oh, well, I don't have to fulfill this, my end of the bargain, because now she's gone. No, you still got to continue the legacy even more so now, because you got to prove that who she was and the last breath that she took, you're taking off and you're
Yeah.
continuing.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
continuing.
So
So
I know that
that's,
you held your mom's hand when she passed away.
yes.
So there's you know there's kind of like a blessing in that, because she gave you the last of her energy to kind of move forward. And I didn't, I would
Yeah.
have loved to have been around my dad when he passed. I was kind of, mad at him for not fighting, against his addiction. But knowing what I know now about addiction, I understand how hard it is to um, to overcome certain addictions. But in a way, that was a blessing. There was a rite of passage where she's like, okay, Lydia, it's time for you to walk and be the woman that you're meant to be. So so now that you've kind of gone, it's how long has it been since your mom passed?
It's been a year. Yeah,
Okay.
it's been
So
a
it's
year,
here
February
because the anniversary just happened.
9th.
Okay, all right. My deepest condolences for that. So the anniversary just happened. So tell us right now what who Lydia is, what she does, where you see her going, and just I want you to inspire the people that are going to watch this later, and they're in the midst of their fight. They're
Uh,
in the midst of finding their fight, or they're in the midst of, they feel like they can't do it, or they feel like, like, I'm just going to do the bare minimum, or I don't need to exercise. I want you to give the people kind of like a message about what happens to you when you go through the process physically, because you've done both.
yeah.
You've done the weight loss clinics, and you've done this. Explain to the people, whether they decide to do one part of it first, if they decide to do that part first because they need that motivation to lose those first pounds. Tell them what happens to you when you actually do the physical fight, when you're fighting for that one more rep, when you're fighting for, when you wake up and you decide, I'm going to walk 5 miles today. What happens to you in your body, in your nervous system, in your mentality? That's what I want you to talk to them about today.
Whew, okay. Wow. So
I told
my
you I didn't know what I was going to ask you, but it was going to come to me.
Hey, listen, I got it. Proper planning prevents a piss poor performance. My coach
Yep.
says this all the time.
Yep.
So I think about, because it's actually been a little bit over a year that I've been doing PRX's challenge. The first challenge that I literally went through was January. It was after my mother-in-law passed away.
Oh, wow.
Going into my mom passing away. I will say for number one, finish,
Yeah.
finish, never stop, never
Yeah.
quit, no matter how hard it gets, and
Yeah.
it will get hard.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It will
Yeah.
get hard.
Yeah.
In anything that you do in life, there are going to come challenges, and how you handle those challenges really is going to determine your results.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like you said, Dion, don't think about the scale. Do not think about the scale. And what happens with the scale is, who knows? Sometimes the batteries get dead. Sometimes it breaks. Sometimes,
Yeah.
who knows what happens with the scale? But don't allow the scale to determine your fight. And
Yeah.
don't allow your adversities to determine your fight. Vision and visualize the end goal of you looking leaner, or you putting on that excess weight, whichever one you're doing. Um, Visualize it, see it, and see yourself at the finish line. And even when you get to the halfway mark and it doesn't look like you're going to make it, and it doesn't look like the pounds are going, you know, fast enough, or you can't pass down that baked potato or those chips, you know.
With chives and sour cream, girl. That's
Child is
bacon.
out. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Like, think
That
about
used to be my jam.
think about where you're going, and then also think about who it will help, because a lot of times we don't realize that we are literally being motivation for somebody else. We
Yeah.
are literally setting the standard for somebody else. We are literally giving somebody else and showing somebody else the blueprint. And your results could very well be the impact that somebody needed to push forward.
Yeah. 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 That was my favorite. Oh, Jenny said that was her favorite too. Yeah. So you said finish strong. That's great. That's gonna be my new mantra for you. Finish strong. You know, when I get people that ask me a lot, why do you still work out that way? And I don't think, and set new standards. Yeah, I like that one, Jay. Um, our sister from our Jay Sky, our sister from Girl Hold My Hand, who held my hand into the community.
I was paying every day.
Yeah. When people ask me why I'm still doing this, why I'm still working out at that level, I always tell them that I still feel like I have more. There's more in me, and I'm fighting for one more rep. But now I fight because this is survival mode for me. This is how I survive. This is what I use to allow me to stay in my, like, it's staying in my formula. Working out every day is what helps me. I honestly, if I
Yeah,
didn't work out this morning at 7 a.m., I wouldn't have this smile on my face. Because as much as I want to be the happiest person in the world, I wake up and I'm like, oh, I could easily go back to everyone. You have that
yeah,
moment where you're like, I could just lay down for a little bit longer. But I know if I get up and get in my formula, I'm going to be the woman that I want to be. So tell us about who Lydia is now, where she's going, what she does, how, like, what do you do outside of Girl Hold My Hand and TLC? You are like the entrepreneur of entrepreneurs. Like, you do a lot. So so tell the
yeah.
people what you do, because I'm like, girl, I can barely keep up with this one. Tell the people like what you do and your specialty so they know, because that's the one thing I love about our community is there are so many different people doing different things in our community that you have a plethora of resources, and that's why we tap in to Girl Hold My Hand. That, and because of the visionary, and because of how coach pours into us and coaches us on a monthly basis and pours into us with meditation and all the other resources. But tell us who Lydia is, what she does, so that people can find you.
Okay, so who Lydia is now is a person that stays in her formula. I meditate every single morning, every single morning. I work out every single morning, whether it's working out with PRX, whether it's walking at least 4 miles a day. Um, who Lydia is somebody that motivates and pushes Lydia to the best. Coach.
Hi,
Okay.
hi, Miss Sheila. Hi, Martinette.
I get excited. I'm
I
sorry.
know. I saw that. I was like, she's gonna burst out with some emotion.
But who Lydia is now is somebody that does not make excuses anymore. I
Yeah.
don't make excuses anymore because excuses don't get me anything. It don't get me results. I take accountability for my actions and I say, okay, what do I need to do now so that this doesn't happen again? What do I need to do now to push myself even harder? Like I just, oh,
We
I
love you
literally like,
too, Miss. Okay, let's give it. Hold on a second. Let's give a quick shout out to Miss Sheila, who one influences you in one way, and what, and it is another person in our community. Like Martinette's here. I saw some other people pop in, but Miss Sheila is kind of like, the TT you didn't know you needed that'll whip you into shape.
let me
That
tell
always
you,
reminds you that always reminds you that there's a
yes,
reason why having a positive mindset, why always flipping the script when you want to. I'm trying to get
yeah.
I'm trying to get the skin together, Miss Sheila. I'm trying to get the skin together consistently 2 months now with Perfect Storm, and I haven't done anything with skincare that consistently in a long while. So that is what's happening right now. But I'm trying. So I
You
appreciate that.
got
But
this.
Miss Sheila,
You got Perfect
right?
Storm skin collection. And I have to, like I say, coach, like she has been more than a coach. And it's not a coincidence that she came in my life. Like literally she turned 57 last year and I was so honored to be there with her
Yeah.
in that moment because my mom was gonna turn 57 in
Oh
September. So it's
wow.
not a coincidence and
Coincidence.
I'm so
Yeah.
I'm so grateful and any time that I have to edify her and honor her as my coach, as somebody that has literally held my hand, I do it because that's
Mm.
another thing about Lydia. I know who I'm supposed to honor, right?
Yeah.
I
That's
know
important. That's important.
their
I think people are, I think people are afraid to I'm afraid for one reason. I'm afraid of telling people who I love because it's the attacks. Not on me, but on them. Like, okay, you know what I mean? So I like to keep the people that I care about kind of like guarded and, kind of protected. And I'm like, okay, but you're right. Like edification is important, especially when
yes,
you know their strengths, when you know where the support comes from,
yes,
how they're making you strong. One of the things that I like about Miss Sheila is that she has this poise and grace and sternness about her that allows you to find yourself. So she is she's a certain way. Where she's unapologetically herself about rituals, like working out, rituals. So for a while before I was communicating with her, even like we had this kind of rapport, I would wake up and I'd be like, damn, this woman done worked out already.
let me tell you something.
This woman
Sheila
done
literally
worked out
texted
already.
me.
Yeah.
She literally texted me to the minute when my mom passed away.
Yeah.
Literally,
Wow.
literally. So, you know, I always say that when God brings people into your life, like a
Yeah.
Sheila Woodward,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
mhm,
And it's like like we can't get off this call without thanking Coach Stormy for creating this kind of like multiverse where we all can meet, me, you, Miss Sheila, Jay, all the women that have joined. Martin, I
yes,
saw Martinette was on. All of us, like, we would not have found each other because of that bigger energy. And so,
right,
like, I'm unapologetic when it comes to certain people. Like, you
mhm,
guys, you don't know, but last summer was rough for me, where I lost a lot of, yeah, I lost a lot of people close to me because we weren't on the same path. And that is, oh, Martin, it's still here. And that was a sign that, not because they're not going to be in my life maybe in the future, but because where I was going, one, I couldn't bring them with me, and I needed to evolve. And that's
Yeah.
why it was important for me to, like Coach Stormy says, shift and pivot and find, when, move with the shift. That is one thing that is stuck in my head forever. Move with the shift, move with the shift, move with the shift. And that, so I live by that. Pivot for progress, move with the shift. And now I know the reason why I had to walk away from and just, relent in certain relationships and give up certain relationships is because this is the blessing that God had for me. This is the blessing the universe wanted to give me. And so we'll get a huge shout out to Coach Stormy, who I don't want to talk about it because, I get emotional. They don't get to see the side. They don't get to see the meditation side of me where I'm, very vulnerable. But drop them people fast.
Telling you,
Yeah,
I'm telling
she's
you.
right. She's right. But tell the people, Lydia, like what you do. Kiki's here too, from Girl Hold My Hand. Tell the people what you do so that they can find you. So when they come back to this live, see, I told you I was gonna keep you for at least an hour, and I'm doing pretty good on time. Tell the people what you do. Tell them about all your businesses so that you can, so that those who are coming later have an opportunity to get to know you a little bit better and, tap in with you and follow you for your resources.
Sure. Well, Total Life Changes is my very first network marketing business. So Total Life Changes is number one. My second business is I actually collaborated with another young lady. So I go tell people where.
I love it.
I'm a tax professional, so I've done taxes for over 11 years, almost 12. The end of this tax season will be 12. My son is 12, so that's how I know. He was like 6 months old.
I love it.
When I started, I have my own mobile hookah business.
Who
I
can
am,
heal?
yes. So I have my own mobile hookah business and I travel. I get to go to people instead of having a brick and mortar and people coming to me and I not be able to filter. That way I can filter where I go. What I use is tobacco and nicotine free. I've been actually experimenting with some molasses, so we'll see how that goes. That is another one of my businesses. And I'm also a brand ambassador for a shapewear company
Miss
called
Sheila's
Looking
popping
Good
off
Girl.
in the comments, guys. I wish you guys could see it because the comments go away after this. It's not like Facebook where they can see it later, so they have
Oh,
no idea what we're laughing about.
right. But yeah, a brand ambassador for a shapewear company called Looking Good Girl, in which I received the Rookie of the Year award last year.
Nice.
And that is
Congratulations.
absolutely, thank you. So it was just it's me copying the right cat, like Sheila Woodward.
Who has
Girl,
incredible
hold my hand.
work ethic. Like if I could,
Yes.
I say to myself, I was telling someone the other day that Miss Sheila and I are the same sign, and I always used to say, like, I don't know, like, what am I gonna be like when I'm in my 50s? Like, what kind of woman when you identify a person, like, wow, I could actually be that. I could have that work ethic. I could embody that person physically because of the way she works out. So it's like actually seeing your potential in, 12, 15 years. So,
Yes.
um, okay, go carry on.
Yes.
Sorry. Big
Um,
shout out to J Sky. I know she's still here too.
I know,
Um,
right? I know. Thank you, Jay.
continue. Sorry.
But yeah, I believe that's pretty much it. Of course, Girl Hold My Hand is definitely, definitely a big part of who I am. As you can see, I'm Girl Hold My Hand out. Like I love the community. I love what it's done for me. Girl Hold My Hand. A lot of times I do say that if it had not been for them, I don't know if I would have survived after my mom passing.
Yeah.
I just don't know where I would be mentally,
Mm.
let alone, physically and
Yeah.
spiritually. Coach Stormy, and I say this a lot, that Coach Stormy actually brought me closer to God because after my dad passed, I was kind of like, well, God, that man had my back. He taught me so much. He loved on me. I love my biological father, but he stepped up to the plate in my biological father's space, and he taught me love, and he taught me what standards to have as far as um as far as men. And so it was just kind of like, I still believed, but I was like, I kind of lost a little hope, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
and so, when I found Girl Hold My Hand, I was just like, oh, I'm ready.
I'm for
Um,
it, Miss Sheila. Let's go.
when I
We
found
having
Girl
a
Hold My
side
Hand,
conversation inside of the live.
when I found Girl Hold My Hand, it was just like a big aha moment for me because, like Jay Sky, like Sheila Woodward, you know, you need people like yourself.
Yeah.
I look forward to Saturday stretch. I even got on stretch when my son's having a whole, tournament and I'm having, breakfast with my husband. I'm like, I gotta still tap in because
Yeah.
it's a part of who I am.
Who we are, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I used to be one of those people that believed that I had to go my journey alone because had become so cynical with relationships. And that's what happened to me last summer is when I was like, I'm done. I'm done with people. I'm done with, but I don't want any more friends. I'm going to do this. Hi, Miss Teresa. Oh my God. Everybody's popping in now. I think this is because of you, because they never come on my life. Well, I'm never on though. I'm never on. Like
But you're gonna come
I'm
on a
gonna
little bit
I'm
more.
gonna have my courage now to come back on. I don't know what happened to me. I used to be like on live like every other
You
day and
did.
then something like something I don't know. I don't know.
It's okay.
Something
You
happened, but
back up. You
well,
back
we
now.
back. You
You
brought
back.
me back. Guess who's
You back.
back? um, I really didn't feel or believe that I could be around other women and be happy and be at ease and be supported and add value and um oh lady Jay
I did.
um and and so I when I first went into Go Hold My Hand, I'm like, what's this place with all these unicorns in here? Like, what's going on? Like, okay, women are actually calling each other queens, and men are calling each other queens, and women calling men kings. All right, let me see what this place is about. Hi, Miss Teresa, and I was like, okay, all right, and I'm like, all right, there's actually something here. All right, let's see what we pop. Let's see what's going on. And so that's why I encourage people to do it because one, you grow mentally, spiritually, physically, and there are opportunities that coaches teaching us how to grow financially as well. But you also understand that you have to do that inner work in order for you to show up as yourself. So it's always that holding you accountable to
Yes.
you and your actions and how you behave and walking, kind of like in your purpose, but with integrity. There's that, there's always that coaching that happens where you can be yourself, but honoring the people that are around you with a
Yes.
certain caliber of expectation of what you expect a human to operate as. So, I want people to be more open to it. It's not a cult.
It's not. We might be weird,
um,
a little weird
yeah,
sometimes, but
yeah,
we actually we have fun, and we literally, like you said, like we hold each other accountable in different ways not because, oh, well, you should be doing this, you should be doing it. No, because we want each other. We want you to, get your goals. We want to see you build your
meet your
house. We
goals.
want to
Yeah,
see you be at peace. We want to
yep,
see your skin look good. That's where
yeah,
we are. And I always tell people we're different over here. We
yeah,
are
yeah.
different over here.
We're
When Sheila
fortunate.
told me,
Yeah, we're
yes, when
fortunate.
Sheila told me, because some people said, and then I'm gonna bring up too what you said, because I want to tell the people, okay. But when Sheila told me our very first conversation for me to take the filter off, she's
Yeah,
like, "You're beautiful. You don't need filters."
yeah.
And I immediately, I stopped. I
Mm,
stopped.
yeah.
She
I
was
can
not
have
the
the
first
filter on with
person.
the eyes and the eyelashes and all that stuff
Yes,
right now to make myself look a certain way. But guys, this is the face that
this
God
is
gave me. So you guys gonna
this
just have
is
to
it.
deal with this one.
Yes. So it was like once I stopped doing it, it was like God started revealing some people to me. And they started to come to the forefront, and it was like they can't okay they can't come with you, just like you said, they can't come with you on this journey because you attracted them with the filter.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a different one. I'm writing that one down.
Right?
I'm writing that one down.
And then the pivot point for me, for you, Dion, was when we
had that story.
I'm about to tell them now.
Oh,
the pivot point between you and I. Is it okay?
It's your story to tell.
Okay, good. So it was the pivot point when you told me about the makeup, and you were like, what does your skin, because I had came on meditation one day with no makeup on, and you were like, why are you wearing makeup? And then you were like, you know, I want to tell you this, I want to tell you this out of love. And when you said that, I was like, nobody has ever really said that to me before. And I was like, I'm interested to know what she, you know, because I listen, I can take constructive criticism. Like, I've never been the type of person to be, you know, affected by constructive criticism. Never.
Sheila, snitch in training.
But Dion was like, you may want to get your makeup rematched because it kind of looks off. Now, y'all look at what my makeup looks now, like now. And it's because of Girl Hold My Hand and Dion being comfortable enough to say, you know what, you're beautiful, but listen, go check, you know, go see about this. Like, you may want to do this a different way. And she was like, you know, I was afraid of how, like, but no, I said, please tell me when it don't look right. But now look,
I can't even tell if you have makeup on, by the way.
Exactly.
I can't.
I'm
but
like,
here's the thing.
Tell me.
I knew that I was in the right space. I know I would not say that to just anyone, because I don't want people to feel like I'm being malicious. And that's why I started the way I started. I said, this is coming from a place of love, and can I add some value? You know, it's basically like if someone said, Dion, like, your skin, girl, like, my niece did this to me. She's like, Titi, I want to do your skincare, but when you were actually taking care of your skin. And I was like, okay, all right. It means that I am not doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm like, I've always had friends that have done that with me. The reason I started my fitness journey is because my girlfriend said, girl, we don't do bellies. We do that. And so we had just started communicating, like, one-on-one and building our relationship. And I'm like, I would be remiss if I didn't say something. How am I building an authentic relationship with someone where I can add value to their life? And it's not me being malicious. Like, I wasn't tearing her down. I was like, girl, I've seen you without makeup. This is not the thing. But I'm happy that it was someone. I'm happy that you received it the way it was intended. And, you know, like, I think it actually, you know, helped us get our bond, you know, helped us get a lot closer, because, you know, like, you knew that it wasn't like me just otherwise, you know, the way to do that is to go gossip about it with someone else and not tell Lydia. No, go to Lydia and communicate with her. We also are in a community where Coach would have been like, what's going on with it?
Exactly.
So let me do it before you get snatched up.
Thank you. And that was a really big thing for me, for you to say that, to be, you know, open enough to say that, for me to be open enough to receive it. It was just the way you went about it. And, you know, sometimes I saw it, but I was like, well, I have been out of the country, and, you know, I've been to Punta Cana and, you know, Miami several times and stuff. And I was like, well, maybe just my skin is just changing. And here it is. Like, that was what, in like November, maybe. And here it is, March. And
you're a beautiful woman without it. You don't even need it, but, you know, like, makeup. like I'm not one of those people that's good at makeup, so it's something I have to learn. But I'm like, you know when something ain't right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I
But this has
appreciate you
been
for that.
beautiful. This has been beautiful. I
Yeah.
adore you. I love you. Thank you guys all for joining. This is in a series of, Women's History Month that I'm doing. Lydia was so gracious to accept my invitation. And we talked about so much. We talked about fitness. We talked about, health and wellness. We talked about so much stuff. We talked about Girl Hold My Hand. We talked about all her businesses. Any parting words for the beautiful people that are still on here with us and that are going to watch this later?
Yeah. Um, Love is the answer to everything in life, and so I give and receive love effortlessly and unconditionally. Just know that love starts from within.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Miss Lydia, for coming on. Blessings, blessings. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later. And if you want to join Girl Hold My Hand, if you're following Lydia, go into her bio, click the link. If you're following me and you're watching this later, you want to join Girl Hold My Hand, click the link in mine and make sure that you are leading with love. Have a great day. Bye. Bye, Lydia.
See you later.